Here's what I hear an echo, but I think, all right, there we go. Cool. So my name is Ali Jabry, as you already read. Right around 5 years ago, one of my friends was kidnapped, and it was shocking because she actually made it back home. The reality is that a lot of people don't. Over 50,000 people get kidnapped every year, and very few of them make it back home. So the reason she made it back home is because somebody knew something was wrong, and that capacity to call for help really impacted us. And we were thinking, is there a way to democratize that? That's kind of what we did. So we created this tiny device that's the size of 2 quarters. We put it into different wearable form factors like bracelets, smart badges for employees, and we initially were selling direct to consumers. So there's a huge issue of danger in the U.S., in Latin America, and Africa, and Asia, and Europe. And in our process of selling direct to consumers, we found a lot of our customers were employees, and we found out they were mainly buying it for their risk factors they faced. Our big aha moment came when a county reached out to us and put in a purchase order to buy a couple hundred devices in a month time frame of a sales process. So that gave us a big aha moment to focus more on employee safety. So I'm sure you know this, but there's a lot of danger that happens to employees. OSHA reports that 1,000 employees die every day. 7,000 near-death experiences every day, 1,000 result in deaths. Everything from industrial workplaces, heart attacks, machines, getting locked up in machines, hazards, to sales reps that work on the floor, and there's a long list. So we address that directly by using our badge holder, which is already worn by 150 million employees in the US. So there's no real adoption curve that's needed. So we're just making a dumb accessory smart. And with this whole COVID-19 thing happening, we're preparing for a launch of a contact tracing solution for the workplace. So it's going to be privacy compliant. So it won't be tracking the whole time, but it will identify who you get in contact with in your work environment. Know where you were, and allow the safety managers to send an alert to all the potential people who are employees who might be infected by COVID-19. So it's a very easy way to work. It uses Bluetooth Low Energy, communicates with the phone, communicates with a beacon that can be installed within indoor locations to give indoor mapping, and that's kind of what we're doing.
Okay. All right. So, what year did you start your company?
We started July 2016, so just under 4 years.
Okay. All right. So how's the sales going?
Yeah, so we currently have 3 customers that are organizations. We just hit the 100K mark a month and a half ago, and we have probably just under 500K recurring revenue that we hope to close by the end of the year.
Okay.
Of ARR that we hope to close by the end of the year.
Okay. All right. So your projection is for 500K.
ARR, yes.
Okay. And so how did you come up with that number 500,000?
Based on 2 customers we're working with. That is based on a scale of it, right? And they're insurance companies.
Okay. Have they given you orders, or have they given you promissory notes, or what stage of the communications is there between yourself and these potential buyers of your product?
Yeah, so we have NDAs signed, we have agreements on what the scope of the project would look like, and we're right now doing the technical, not diligence.
Okay, so when you say technical validation, what do you mean?
That means they have samples, they're currently testing it. I actually just had a call before this with them, and everything's working fine. So we're looking at closing this deal by the end of the month. June 19th, it's presented for a secondary meeting, which validates the POC with them.
Validate the what?
The proof of concept with them.
Okay, proof of concept. Okay, all right. So do you have an agreement as to how the business relationship will proceed if in fact the proof of concept is what says it is, and if that it meets their satisfaction, or have you not delineated those steps that'll take place?
Yes, we've already defined that. We've even defined pricing. So we're going to be charging $20 a month per device, and they're paying 6 months upfront for it, and then monthly from then on. The validation of the proof of concept is basically when the users get the device, how long does it take for them to sign up to the device, basically, and how frequently do they test it? How frequently can you get to test it? Because this is a risk mitigation play, right? So those are the two main variables that you're going to be measuring in the proof of concept. It will take 3 months, and it should be for around 1,500 users.
Okay. And is that for one company or is that for both?
No, that's for one of the insurance companies.
Okay. Do you mind if I ask not the name of the company, but the industry that they're in, or?
Yeah, there are insurance companies for different types of organizations, from nonprofits to house of worship to senior living communities, etc.
Okay. All right. Senior living.
As well as not house of worship.
I'm sorry?
As well as house of worships, so churches, synagogues, etc.
Okay. All right. And so that's one of the two clients that you're going to be meeting with on June 19th, correct?
Yeah. And the other one is a plastic manufacturer.
A plastic manufacturer.
Yeah.
Okay. And
so
what country are they in?
Pennsylvania state.
Okay. And so they, how big is their manufacturing facility? How many people do they have that could qualify to benefit from your product?
For the pilot, it's 500 users. It's within one plant, looking at the main plants. Scale is to 5,000 users in the next 2 years. It's all the employees in Brazil, UK, and North Carolina. As the agreement we have with them is, this is actually a prototype. So they're making a mold for this because they're a plastic manufacturer. So they're making a mold of an in-kind service payment and paying the difference for the service. And the use case here is obviously plastic manufacturers have a lot of injuries, heart attacks happen in the field. They've lost a couple of employees in the last 4 years, and they could have done something about it. So this is why they're really taking this forward with their proof of concept location, which is where their HQ is. Yeah, so they can use phones on the field. They can use their phones when they're on the machines. So this replaces that pretty much, because it will communicate with a Bluetooth beacon that's installed on a 15,000 square feet facility, and this is pressed within the facility. It will know exactly where the employee is and send the emergency nurses to their location for quick mitigation and prevention of deaths or injuries.
Okay, so so you have to have a beacon in every location.
Yeah. So to give you to draw a map on a 16,000 square feet facility, divided in 2 floors, so it's 8,000 each, just under 35 beacons to cover the whole area.
How many square feet per beacon?
Let's do the quick maths.
What did you say, like 35 beacon for that company?
Yeah, for 16,000.
Okay, 30. Okay, so 16,000 divided by 35. Okay.
Yeah, like 450.
Okay, all right. And then, so basically, that this product, when you say it's it mitigates risk, basically what it does is it just provides communication when there is an issue or a challenge or a problem, correct?
Yeah, consistent manner. So like, I think what we've realized is our biggest value prop isn't the function per se, it's the fact that it's easy to scale and it doesn't provide friction in behavior changes, right? So that's really where our value lies. We're not training an employee to use a new accessory because we're making dumb accessories smart, if that makes sense.
So basically, so your niche or your application is to provide this smart badge for companies where there's a high level of possibility that somebody could get injured, or in the case of the senior living, where you have retirees who potentially will have sickness or illness that would require immediate medical attention, correct?
Yeah, or churches where last year there was, I'm not sure the exact number, but there was an average of 1.2 shootings per day in the U.S. So churches is a huge one too. There's a lot of different use cases, but with COVID-19, the contact tracing solution is a game changer because everybody needs to do it.
Well, let me ask you this.
Yeah.
Everybody needs to go to a gym, a health club, and take care of their health, right?
Yeah.
But that doesn't mean they're going to do it. So I guess it remains to be seen to what extent you're able to get the contact tracing engaged or involved in this type of a product, right? I mean, do you actually have software where the contact tracing actually shows where these people are physically located, like it's a GPS or what?
No, so it's actually, we're implementing a checkpoint system. So we've been researching a lot of what companies are doing already. So companies already have checkpoint systems in place. You go to the office, you have to make sure you're wearing a mask. Sometimes they check your temperature. You have to hand sanitize before entering the office building. So that's the first checkpoint. And we follow on with implementing this checkpoint system within every super spreader location. So that's bathrooms, that's cafeterias, that's meeting rooms, etc., where there will be more than one employee at any given time. So we're measuring where those employees move within the location, but not constantly through a check-in, check-out system using the same beacon, the same beacons, the same badges. So companies have to provide the right means to invite their employees back to work.
Okay, so who do you think is your most immediate customer? Who are the people that are ready to move forward the soonest? The people that are in the senior living, the churches, and the manufacturing. Those are your two potentially big clients that have expressed immediate concern, right?
Yes.
Okay, all right. So June 19th, you're going to have your meeting, and then and just summarize on the 19th what's going to happen at that meeting. You're going to confirm that the proof of concept works, or that's been validated, and then do you have a document that shows them the specific steps of what it's going to take for them, for the commitments that you're going to make and the financial investments that they're going to make? Do you have that in a document?
So as of yet, I have email documents, but right now we're going to be defining that. That's the goal of June 19th.
Okay. So what I'd like to do is I'd like you to put together a one-page document that summarizes if the proof of concept works, if they're satisfied, what are the specific steps that you are going to take, and what are the specific steps that they're going to take, and just outline that in one page.
Sure.
And then that way there's no confusion about what the specific steps are, from proof of concept to commitment to engage your company for the purchase of these tracking. What do you call them? You call them like a smart employee badge, or what do you like to call your product?
We call it a Kwema Smart Badge.
A what?
Smart Badge Holder. The Kwema Smart Badge Holder.
A what badge holder?
Kwema Smart Badge Holder. That's the name of our company, Kwema.
Okay. All right. So the reality is the name of the product doesn't have to be the name of your company, does it?
No, we can white label the solution.
And I'm not saying that you want to, but I'm just saying that ultimately at the end of the day, what you do is you sell smart badges. Is that what you're saying you do?
No, we sell a service. We sell a safety service.
Okay. All right. So you offer a safety service.
Yeah, that can be white labeled. Exactly.
Okay. And then the purpose of the safety service is to
identify risk factors immediately and notify the right people. Simple as that.
Okay. And the risk factors are defined as?
That's defined by each company we work with. It could be everything from heart attack, kidnapping, getting hazards at workplaces, and so on and so forth. Evacuations.
Okay. Okay. All right. So, and then so so if I'm wearing your smart badge, is it like a smartphone where it's going to call me, or is it like a watch where it has a dial and a text message on it, or what exactly am I going to see or hear, and how am I going to respond in terms of the the transfer of the information to the smart badge?
Yeah, so basically the way it works is we get your badge, you sign up on your phone, you synchronize it, right? And then once it's synchronized, it's just wear it and forget it, right? When you need it, you press the button on the side here for 3 seconds. Once that's pressed, it notifies who it has to notify based on how you got your device.
Okay, so you're basically, the smart badge synchronizes with your smartphone, correct?
Yeah, as a first step.
Okay, and then so at that point, the smart badge allows you to respond to messages that you receive, or to actually reply to those messages as well, or both, or either, or neither, or
So once again, it depends on how you're using how you're meant to be using the badge. So if it's for a service of safety, for example, once you press the button, 911 will be notified, and in the case of an emergency, you will get a call when you activate it, and that call will be to validate your emergency. If you don't pick up, 911 is dispatched anyway, and you also get an SMS. So in case you cannot talk, you can reply via text message if you're like hiding somewhere, etc. So it really depends on the use case. So there's no one size fits all answer, but there is a communication back and forth in the case of an emergency. And in some cases, it's just an action that takes place. So like in the plastic manufacturer, if this is activated, they know who pressed it and where they were. So emergency staff goes to where you were. It helps you if you're in danger, if you're having a heart attack, etc., and saves your life.
okay. Two questions. One is how much money you're looking to raise, and number two, who's your competitors?
Yeah, so we actually looking to raise a small round of $500,000 that will allow us to hit profitability in the next 12 months. Competitors are a bit scattered. We have older companies that are creating panic buttons that are on the walls. We have panic buttons that come on the shape of necklaces or keychains. Now, the main difference is we understand adoption hurdles that companies face, and we learned this by talking to customers who back out of doing new initiatives because of the operational burden it is, how much time it requires for them to implement something company-wide, how expensive it is, and that's really where we address it from off the get-go by using the behaviors employees already have and making a product that is already used. And that's something that is a good example with Ring, right? Like Ring, people $100 million. What they did is create a smart doorbell, right? The doorbell is already used in every house in the US. So they just made a smart doorbell, and that made it so easy for them to get mass adoption. So we're looking at the same use case and the same value proposition, and not changing behaviors, but working with the behaviors, adding an additional feature to the same behavior they have, wearing a badge to go to work. And 150 million Americans already wear that, and 500 million people worldwide already wear that. So it's a good way to address it. And we envision creating new wearables that have similar benefits that might be already worn by a specific group of employees or people. We can make that smart very quickly because we're not reinvestigating the R&D. We already have the device. We just put it in wearable form factors.
All right, so let me ask you this. If I have your wearable and I have my smartphone and I have an emergency, you're saying it's easier for me to benefit from communicating via your wearable because I'm receiving information from the company in-house. So I guess you would call that like an internal circuit, or what?
No, so the benefit is because when you're in danger, you can't really afford to go to your phone, unlock it, press the button, or call 911, right? When you're in danger, you have very few seconds. And I've lived in Mexico City, in Brazil, I live in St. Louis, so I know what danger really means. So when you have that, you have very few time to activate your alert. So in our case, we're activating it discreetly because nobody could tell this is smart. And when it's activated, they already know where your location is. It sends help immediately to your location, depending on your risk factor.
All right, so
if it's 911,
let's say I don't have my cell phone on my possession, then the wearable would have to have access to the beacon, otherwise it would not be effective.
correct.
Okay.
That is correct.
Okay. All right. So so it's primarily to be worn inside a facility, not out in the field traveling or.
No, also out of the field, because most people have their phones with them. We have our government client actually bought this for their social workers who go to houses to see how society is, right? How are children living? They walk into a house, they don't know what to expect from the house. There might be a meth house, might be an abusive family, who knows? So they use our technology for that.
Okay, so so it's kind of like a tracking device.
Yeah, except it tracks you when you press the button, not before. So it's not tracking you the whole time.
Okay. Tracks you when you push the button. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so
and send an alert.
all right, so you're saying that you're looking to provide this service at $20 a month per client?
Yes, per user, yes.
$20 a month per user. Okay. All right, so you guys have been around since 2016?
Yeah.
Okay.
Company with a napkin idea, 2016.
Okay, so since 2016, here we are 4.5 years later, right?
No, actually, I'm just about to hit 4 years.
Okay. All right, so in 4 years, you guys have done $100,000, right?
More or less, yeah.
Okay. All right, so if I told you that I sold pizzas and it took me 4 years to sell 100 pizzas, what would be your initial concern?
That is not enough.
I'm sorry?
That is not enough.
That if I sell 100 pizzas in 4 years, that I'm going to run out of gas before I become profitable.
Yeah.
Are you with me?
Yeah,
okay.
I am.
Okay, so be some sort of an analysis of your sales processes to identify how many customers are you reaching out to on a daily, weekly, and monthly basis. How are these people responding to your offer? Are they asking you to get back to them? Are they telling you they're just not interested? Are they telling you they have better options? Or do they tell you they just don't understand the value and ask you to, have a nice life? Or, I mean, have you done any kind of a sales analysis on, why people aren't responding, to you and your offer? Have you done an objective evaluation to say that either our sales process works, but we're targeting the wrong customers? Or are you saying that, what customers are looking for is slightly different than what we're offering? Or, what are the myriad of different type of reasons why people aren't giving their business that would cause you to say, okay, we either need to charge less money or charge more money, or change the perception that they have, or offer additional benefits to the service that they're expecting that we can't offer? Or there's got to be some sort of an analysis on why you guys are slow in terms of getting people to respond to your offer.
Yeah. So I think just
I'm not trying to put you on the spot. I'm just trying to say, hey, listen, if I go out and sell people health club memberships, everybody wants to look sexy and everyone wants to be healthy. But at the end of the day, how many people are going to show up to the gym?
No, I get it. You have a good point. So consider that we haven't been selling for 4 years. We've been selling for under 18 months. So that's one thing. Secondly, we're kind of creating a new market, okay? Because panic buttons have existed, but they've been focused mainly on the elderly, direct-to-consumer, more one-size-fits-all market. So keep in mind, we do not initially focus on this market. And that's an important thing to bring up. Finding that product market fit was not easy. We finally came across this employee safety angle in the last 12 months, not less. And this is really where we hit it on the nail in terms of the value prop, right? So considering those factors, considering the size of our company, considering how many companies we are in talks with that can allow us to profitability in the next 6 to 12 months, I would say we're finally in the right place to warrant all our hard work that we've done for the last 4 years. So the markets we're addressing are two markets. One is medium-sized companies from 2,500 to 10,000 employees. We've marketed these two, we've quantified these two markets and know exactly who we have to talk to. And we have good conversations with most of them. From those medium-sized companies, they normally have safety staff, so it's EHS, environment health staff, who we normally have conversations with, who their job is to protect the employees. Now, what were they doing previously? They had panic buttons on the wall. They didn't really have any layer for all employees. So this is really a new terrain that's happening. On the other side, Fortune 1000, bigger companies, 10,000 plus employees, and they have corporate security, they have safety, and they have risk management. So they have 3 different departments, all of whom we can work with.
Okay, so what are the various departments? Corporate security.
Yeah, corporate security, EHS, environment safety, and risk management.
Okay, so let me ask you this: how many employees do companies typically have that many departments?
Fortune 1000s normally have all those 3 departments. The medium-sized companies have just 1 or 2 leaders in those positions. EHS, those are 2 departments really. Yeah.
All right, so
I was going to say the reason. Can I just add this? The reason why we have these 2 markets, the smaller companies, the medium-sized companies have shorter sales cycle. So we estimate between 3 and 9 months we would have a deal with them. The Fortune 1000s will probably be between 9 and 18 months to be able to deal with them.
Okay, so 9 to 18 months for the Fortune 1000, and what did you say, 3 to 4 months?
3 to 9 months for the medium-sized companies.
Like the nursing homes?
No, like the plastic manufacturer, for example.
Okay. Okay. All right. So and then, okay. So you got your 9 to 18 months for the Fortune 1000, 3 to 9 months for the plastic manufacturers, and who can you sign up quicker than 9 months? The churches.
Yeah, so we're not selling directly to corporates. Remember that we're selling to an insurance company that is going to be distributed to corporates, right? So they're our clients. The insurance companies are clients. Our users are the corporates and the senior living communities.
Okay. All right. So so you're saying the insurance companies are asking these people to have this type of a employee tracking or risk management?
Yeah, safety. For safety, yes. For mass shooting.
Okay, so for like shooting.
Yeah,
okay.
For mass shootings, correct.
Okay, so would that be for like schools?
Schools, churches, yes.
Okay. Okay, like Parkland School, right? High school where they were shooting and they.
Yeah. Unfortunately, it's very, very frequent. Very frequent. That's the truth.
Are you familiar with a company called Life Alert?
Yeah, I am.
Okay, so how is your product different than Life Alert?
So we're, once again, I told you the main benefit is how it's adopted. We're avoiding adoption hurdles, which is expensive. Like training to implement something like Life Alert to hundreds of thousands of employees takes a lot of training effort and a lot of follow-up.
Let me ask you this. If I have a Life Alert, it's kind of like a garage door opener where you just push the button.
Yeah.
You know, like when I pull into a parking garage in a building and I push the automatic door button and it opens the garage door and I drive into the parking garage, it's a pretty simple procedure, pretty simple process, and it's pretty straightforward. So I'm just wondering, you know, if you were to compare and contrast yourself to Life Alert, you know, what makes you guys different and what makes you guys better? And I think that's something that you want to look at a little more closely, because those guys do tens of millions of dollars in business. But those guys focus specifically on the retirement community.
Yeah. The elderly market, correct.
Yeah, and so you guys are going after anybody and everybody. And so what I'm thinking is maybe what you might want to do is, rather than, telling me that everybody's your customer, tell me that, the people in this industry are my best customers, the people in this industry are my next best customers, and the people in this industry are my next best customers, so that you're specialized in a specific niche.
Employee safety.
Yeah, so if you don't really want to, go after the elderly, retired senior citizens, because, Life Alert has that market, they have a brand kind of like Starbucks. You got all these competitors to Starbucks that open up, and they try to compete against Starbucks, and the vast majority of them fail. And it's not.
We're actually going after the employee safety market, just to clarify.
I'm sorry?
We're going after the employee safety market. That's the only market we're focused on.
Okay, employee safety.
Yeah, that's it. We're not selling direct to consumer. We're not going after smaller communities. The insurance company is a vehicle. Yeah.
So if you're going after employee safety, what I'd like you to do is I'd like you to be able to, put together a marketing plan that basically shows who are the companies in that industry that you want to target market, and what are the results of your efforts in terms of, getting those people to respond to you favorably. Because I think ultimately, if you have a purchase order in your hand, and it tells me that somebody understands and recognizes the value of what you offer, that's really the way the marketplace, defines the value of a product or service based on the demand. Like, for example, the drug dealers in Mexico, they make billions of dollars because, not because they're smart or sophisticated people, but because, there's a strong demand for drugs and people buy the shit.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And so I'm not saying that the demand for your product doesn't exist. I mean, I used to be in the conference business, traveling all over the country, putting on conferences, selling entrepreneurs information that every entrepreneur could benefit from, but not every entrepreneur saw the benefit. Or if they did see the benefit, that didn't mean they were necessarily going to spend the money to buy the information. You follow what I'm saying?
No, I get it.
And so I want to see a very short cause-effect relationship between what your product does and who is the immediate beneficiary. So, like, for example, if I'm in an ambulance business, and what I do is when people require immediate medical attention, I pick them up at the scene of their accident. I put them in the ambulance, and I do everything in my power to sustain their life until I can get them to a hospital where they could get the required medical treatment that they need. And that's what we do in the ambulance business. How many seconds did it take me to tell you what I did? Like 30 seconds, 30 seconds or less, right?
Yeah.
And so you and we've been on the phone, for about 30 minutes. And, I'm an engineer, so I tend to be very analytical to identify, what processes and what systems are you using? Are they working? Are they not working? Where do we improve them? So I'm a little bit concerned that we need to tighten up the systems in terms of how you get people to see the value of what you have to offer. And, maybe we need to modify your message a little bit and say, we specialize in employee safety, and we do that through wearables. And it's a subscription service, and every user, pays a monthly fee. And, our application is X, Y, and Z.
Okay.
Are you with me?
Yeah, I'm with you.
And so, I'm asking you these questions because I've analyzed and consulted and advised companies and businesses on how to grow and how to stay true to their sales and revenue and income goals. And so, I can tell you, within minutes what you guys are doing that's contributing to your success, and what you guys are doing that, that is contributing to your, delay in acquisition of new clients. Because ultimately, at the end of the day, the one of the most important questions that you want to ask yourself as a business owner is, who's my target market, and how do I acquire that client? Okay.
Yep.
So rather than saying, hey, I'm in the healthcare business and I help people get healthy, you could say, no, what we do is we help pregnant mothers during that 9-month period take care of their health. So that's your very specific micro niche.
Yeah.
And so I'm thinking that maybe you guys have too many niches that you guys are going after, and rather than going after anybody and everybody, that you go after people that are going to give you a short sales cycle, where you're going to be able to get the early adapters. The early adapters are the people that are going to acquire your product and benefit from it, and so ultimately you got to quantify to me what the benefit is. Okay.
No, I definitely get it. No, and I think we're right at that stage.
So I want you to, I want you to focus on, if my employees, carry around this wearable, my company's going to benefit XYZ. You gotta be able to quantify specifically what they're going to benefit from XYZ. X, they're, if there's a medical emergency, they can call immediately. If there's a risk factor, like in Brazil, where they're going to get kidnapped or shot, they could immediately call authorities or police. Or I want you to come up with a list of the different benefits and the different applications, and then the different industries or the different countries where they would benefit from, so you can be a little bit more specific about target marketing, who your ideal customer is.
Yeah, and actually I have all that information, so I'd be happy to share it with you. No problem.
All right, so why don't we do this? Do you have that in the form of a marketing plan, or what, or how do you have that?
I have that in an executive summary and in a presentation.
Okay. All right. So if you could, forward that along, I would be happy to review it and look at it. Sure. And in the meantime, what I'd like you to do is I'd like you to get more specific about what industries you want to specifically target, and then what's your daily, weekly, and monthly game plan to stay in front of those customers to get them to make commitments to benefit from your service. And then another thing is, if you really do want to go after the Fortune 1000, I'd like to see you send out a survey to the corporate security departments, or the safety departments, or the risk management departments, and say, hey, listen, this is the product that we have. This is the product, the benefits of this product. How do you see yourself benefiting, if at all? And if so, why? And if not, why not? And say, hey, if we were to offer you this service for free on a trial basis, what would you expect or need this product to do in order for you to be an adapter, where you make this part of your protocol?
Yeah, and actually, one of our advisors is the security officer of Fortune 1000. So we work with him to also understand problems and how to add value to his local and global operations. So it is something that we're frequently doing too.
Yeah, see, because ultimately, at the end of the day, if these people just aren't going to adapt what you have, or they don't want to pay the fee, or they don't see the benefit, then you got to say, well, what are the industries that industries that truly do see the benefit?
Yeah.
Are you with me?
Yeah. No, exactly. And that's where we're at.
And so you may say, well, this industry, it takes us 9 months, and 99% of the time, they don't want to spend the money, even though, for whatever reason, they
or they want to spend the least money as a checklist item. Yeah, these are all things we are keeping in mind.
So ultimately, at the end of the day, you gotta say, hey, listen, if you have 100 employees that use this tracking device, you're going to save, $30,000 in medical expenses.
Yeah.
Are you with me?
Yeah.
So I want you to come up with a quantifiable explanation. So in other words, if I own gyms or health clubs, and I said, if you go to the gym 3 days a week and you exercise 40 minutes a visit, we expect that over a period of 8 to 12 weeks, you're going to lose, 4 to 7 pounds.
Yep.
So you want to quantify the benefit to your customers in terms of 2 factors. One is time, and 2 is quantity. Like I'm gonna, if I put my money in the savings account at your bank, I'm gonna get 4% interest and compounded over a period of 12 months. I'm gonna get a yield of X.
Yep.
So I want to see you come up with some sort of a quantification of the benefit of your product.
Yep, and that's exactly what we're doing with the insurance companies too, and that helps us put a lens of quantifying how to mitigate
See,
risk.
I'm a bottom line businessman. If I got to pull out my calculator and start calculating how much money I'm going to be making or saving to do business with you, and you're asking me to do your work for you, then I'll do it because I'm a motivated guy. But most people aren't motivated like me. They may not get around to it. So you got to show different case studies in different industries on how much money they're going to make or how much money they're going to save and how much money they're going to make on a daily basis or weekly or monthly or annual basis. Whatever the time period or time frame or timeline is, I don't care. You got to decide, well, in the manufacturing industry, there's, 12 accidents a year or 12 accidents a month. So, we're going to use the timeline of a month, or we're going to use a timeline of a quarter, or we're going to use a timeline of a year, where you're able to quantify, what the benefit is in terms of downtime, lost working hours, lost revenue, whatever you want the variable to be. And you may ask these people at corporate security at Fortune 1000, what's the singular most important thing of the top 10 things that you're measuring and managing? What are the 10 variables that you guys are most concerned about with regard to, corporate security?
Yeah. No, definitely.
And then you quantify those criteria that they establish as their most important defining criteria of why they exist.
Yep. I agree with you 100%.
Okay. And so I want you to put that together. And when you put that together, that's going to cause you to say, hey, what we do is we teach you Spanish in 30 days. And that's going to allow you, when you travel abroad, to be able to communicate with people in those. And then I come back to you and say, well, I have no travel plans to any Spanish-speaking countries. I have no desire to learn Spanish. Okay, so we got to identify what is the criteria of corporate security that they get measured and that they get tracked and that they get evaluated on, and then you got to make that criteria your criteria on these wearables.
Yeah, I agree 100%. It's funny you mentioned that.
Why don't you go to work on that? Because I think that, that's relatively easy to do once I tell you what to do, and then you can come back to me and we'll set up a meeting and we'll discuss that further, so that when you do go hit up these companies to buy your service, there's a specific bottom line benefit that you can tell them in 30 seconds or less. Like, so if I'm Domino's Pizza in 30 seconds or less, what I can do for you is I can deliver fresh hot pizza in 30 minutes or less. Yeah. So if you want to eat pizza in 30 minutes and you want it fresh and hot and you want it delivered, then Domino's is your man.
Yep.
Okay. So that it's your USP. A USP is a unique selling proposition.
Yeah.
USP, unique selling proposition. What do you do for your customers that make you different than your competitors?
Yep.
Okay, I'm not saying you want to tell people why you're better, because everybody thinks they're better, but why are you better? And why are you better is because why are you different?
Yep.
Okay, and so you got to have a different USP for every industry that you go into or every niche that you go into.
Yeah.
So that way, you don't have to have a highly skilled person like myself asking all these crowbar questions, to try and figure out what the F's going on here.
Yeah. I totally get it.
Are you with me?
100% with you. I appreciate it.
Yeah. So, all right. So, did you find our time valuable together today?
Yeah, definitely. I think you hit a lot of points that resonate very highly with us right now. And yeah, we definitely on the same page. We're on the same wavelength. That's great. I really appreciate it.
All right. So why don't you do this? I know you have priorities, you have goals, you have a life that you live, and you got to do what you got to do. But in the evenings, on the weekends, before work. I want you to go to work on these issues that you and I have discussed, so that you can, get those fine-tuned, polished, and refined. Okay.
Sounds good. Sounds good.
And then, if you want to work several different niches, that's fine. But I want to know how much time commitment you're able to put into each one of those niches.
Yep. Yep.
And if you don't have the time or the manpower, then, we got to limit the number of niches that you're going to be working.
I agree.
All right.
All right.
So let's kind of fine tune your marketing plan, so that, you're not being spread too thin in too many directions, and you're not getting traction. And, when you're generating $100,000 over a period of 18 months, I'm not saying it's good or bad or right or wrong. I mean, I applaud you for generating $100,000. I'm a big thinker, and, if there's a way for us to elevate and escalate that productivity and profitability, man, we got to specify specifically what are the specific things that you need to do on a daily basis to make that happen. But for now, it sounds like we need to focus on working on the message of what you do for your customers that make you better than the competition.
Yep. I agree.
All right, man. So you got a little bit of homework on your side. If you got any questions, just reach out to me anytime via Messenger or whatever. And hopefully you'll get that all put together. You'll send it over to me. I'll review it. I'll look at it. I'll throw some darts at it, find out where the cracks in your shield are.
Yeah.
So that way when you get in front of customers, they don't get confused, because when they get confused, they don't make purchasing and buying decisions.
Yep.
We got to clarify any ambiguity or confusion that might be there, and make your message very specific, so that every member of your team is able to deliver that message in a equally efficient and effective manner, and converting these strangers into happy paying customers.
Yep. I agree.
All right, my friend, I appreciate you sharing with me the excitement of what you got going on.
It's a pleasure. I appreciate your feedback, and it's very helpful.
All right, man. Be well, be safe, and be happy.
You too. Take care.
Cheers.
Cheers. Bye-bye.